One thing you need to know for sure about watercolor rendering is the watercolor is a media that is translucent. That means it shows what's underneath. So if I take a color and put it here, then this become my collecting point, and then I pull from it. You have to really perfect that technique. You don't go over what you've done before. This is not a painting like this. This is pulling out from the source. Every time you need color, you add to the end of it and make sure that it's not dried on you. That's, of course, if you want to ensure that is effective and even surface for you. You don't get dark and lighter areas. Okay? Very simple if you know how to do it. You see this? This is a tissue paper that I can use to wipe out the excessive amount of color that I don't want. So now this brush doesn't have too much watercolor in it, and if I put it on top like this, see, it absorbs the excessive amount, and then it blend again into creating an even surface. See, now, as I told you, it gather again, and then it give you that even surface. See this little fancy gadget? This is not a beauty salon, but we're gonna use it to dry the color so we can get a quick effect immediately. Now, to prove to you that this is translucent, I'm gonna put some strips on top of it, using also different color of watercolor to show you that it overlap and it pick up the color from underneath. To do this, I'm going to use a ruler and a flat brush to create those kind of strips. But there's a little bit of a technical problem that you might come across. If you have a ruler like this that has a raised edge, then it's the best thing you can do. If you don't have a raised edge, and you have a flat one like this, then I recommend that you use some coins. You put a coin on the back, and then you attach the coin with a tape. You put a tape on top of it to create that kind of raised edge. Why raised edge? Is because you don't want the brush to touch the ruler and then it leak all over the place. Here is the ruler with the tape with the coins underneath. I'm going to turn it so the ruler now become straight and raised edge. I'm going to use it like this and draw one line with the flat brush that I already put color on it, that I believe it's blue. See that? Ta-da! This time I changed the color. I'm going to put a different color and use a different color here, and see now that new color picked up not only the background but also the stripes that I did a few minutes later. See? So do you believe me now that watercolor is translucent? Do you? Thank you. This time I'm going to use a different technique. I'm going to use the so-called gradation, meaning that I put a color here on the corner that is really saturated. Okay, like enough like this. Saturated, let's say blue. I hope the screen showed to you as blue. And then I hurry up and then I use water, only water, and then I start pulling the side of it. See, from here. So I'm not adding more color, I'm adding more water. Alright? More water and more water. Finish. Just let it dry and then you can see it when it dries. This is what it looks like after it dries. Okay? Not too difficult. Again, I put the condensed color here, and then from that moment I stop adding color. I add more water to the edges and I keep pulling, I keep pulling, I keep pulling. Alright? Here I'm gonna use also another technique. I'm gonna put a lot of color. See, like very condensed, like this, fill up the whole thing. See that? Then I'm gonna bring what we use at home, the salt, and make sure that it's wet. I put some salt in my hand like this, and then I sprinkle it on top. See that? I'm not cooking, I'm just showing you how to create texture. Okay, put more salt. Okay, coming up. Here it is. And then this is the time where I really appreciate the hair dryer, because it makes it faster to dry, because you have to wait for the salt to dry and then you brush it off. It's not ready to use yet. So here's the brush, the hair dryer I mean, sorry. Okay, now it's dry. Let's brush it off and see what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, the salt is gone, but the texture remains, and that's what we need to create a quick texture effect. Another benefit for the hair dryer is to help me or help you remove the tape that I put earlier as a mask. So by exposing it like this, you'll be able to remove it easily. See? The heat loosens the adhesive, so it doesn't rip the paper. This is what it looked like after I removed the tape, and I could show you the other pieces also after I remove the tape. See, it's nice and crisp. There's a tape here I can remove later, right there. And there is the last, or the first one that I did, but the last one to show. Alright, I hope that was helpful, and at least it gives you a start of how to handle the watercolor, and there will be more exercises to enforce that. Thank you very much for your attention, and I say the famous word or the famous phrase, go back to work. Thank you.